So Elio is Pixar's latest movie, and it's about this boy named Elio. He lost his parents. He lives with his aunt now. Even though he does live with his aunt, he feels alone and has no friends. He wants to be abducted by aliens. He feels like he has more of a connection to the outside world in outer space than he does with anyone on Earth. So when he does wind up getting abducted by aliens, they believe he is the leader of Earth, so they ask him to have this peace negotiation with this other alien who is trying to destroy them all. So this is a movie that, admittedly, I was not really looking forward to. I don't know if it's because the marketing was pretty much non-existent for this movie, but I remember this movie was supposed to come out last year, and then it got delayed of over a year because of the strikes and also because they were reworking the entire movie to the point where America Ferrera was supposed to be involved in this movie, and yet she is not in the movie anymore. But Zoe Saldana has taken over her role instead, and so now we have this movie, which again was not really marketed very well. It's kind of getting lost in the shadow of other movies like Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon and such. And this movie is fine. It's enjoyable. It's very cute. I had a warm smile on my face, but there are some moments in this movie where I'm like, I feel like this is lower tier Pixar. It's not bad by any means, but it's definitely one where I'm like, I feel like this could have been so much more. So let's start off with the things I do like in this movie. First off, I thought the voice acting was decent. The kid who plays Elio, I thought he did a really good job. The voice actor who played his friend Gordon, I believe his name was, he did a really good job. The two of them going back and forth was pretty cool, and I like their interactions. Zoe Saldana does a decent job. I feel like you could have put any actress in the role, and it would have been effective, but she does fine. The animation itself, even in bad Pixar movies, the animation in Pixar movies are really good. And Elio is no exception. The animation is just absolutely stunning, especially when you get into outer space and there's like all these creative aliens and such. There's a wide variety of different types of aliens out there, and the worlds themselves are very well realized and such. And I really like that. The music done by Rob Simonson I thought really worked because it was very otherworldly, kind of like it was from outer space, and it kind of actually kind of works with the whole emotional cores of this movie too. And I do think the music is very well done. And also, I do like a lot of the themes about this movie, about alienation, which, pun intended, but I feel like it actually does work with this movie quite a bit, especially Elio's arc about how, doesn't really have anyone in his life and how he kind of learns to kind of meet new people, but also at the same time get to know the people that he already knows. I do like that. There are interesting things about parenthood in this movie that are actually very well done. And even by the end of this movie, it's like, okay, there are really good moments in here, even in bad Pixar movies. I don't know how they do this, but even in the lower tier Pixar movies, even when you get to like the emotional core of the movie, it's like, okay, it's effective. Like even in something like say Onward, which I wasn't really the biggest fan of, I thought, okay, at least the emotional core works. So it's like, I guess I made the movie worth watching. And Elio, I think, is the same as Onward, where it's like, yeah, it's not great, but like, there's at least an emotional core in here that actually works really well. But let's talk about some of the things I don't like about this movie. First off, the comedy. It's really bad. The comedy just falls flat. Like, the jokes aren't really that funny. They're not even that clever. The only time it was actually kind of funny was when the alien that's Elio's friend, he goes, I'm a bargaining chip. And that was the only time I laughed out loud. Yeah, the jokes fall flat. Also, there are definitely some cliches in this movie, which you've kind of seen some of these before. And I feel like they're not annoying in this movie, but it's like they're just not different enough from other movies. And I'm just kind of like out there thinking, I've kind of seen a lot of this before, and I kind of wish this movie was done a little differently. Also, even though the alien designs again are really creative and really clever and such, they don't really do much with them, unfortunately. And I feel like they should have done a little bit more with them. A lot of the aliens, they kind of have recurring jokes, but they don't really. They're funny. Again, the comedy falls flat in this movie. Like, the main joke is like how they misinterpret something Elio says and they just keep repeating it throughout the movie. That's about it. And I kind of wish there was more alien interactions in this movie. Also, there are some things in the plot that I felt like just didn't really make sense, or I feel like I would have tweaked it a little differently. Like, there's one thing involving Elio's aunt about halfway through the movie, which I won't spoil by any means. But I will say it's like she finally really figures into the plot in some way. And I'm like, I feel like this should have been done a little differently. I would have tweaked this up a little bit more. But Elio is a movie that it's very cute, it's very fun. I think a lot of kids are going to enjoy this movie. Even if you're a Pixar fan, this is still entertaining enough, but it's still disappointing me that a lot of Pixar movies don't feel like Pixar movies anymore. But Pixar movies used to feel like events and such, and now they kind of feel like they aren't. Like, this feels like it was made straight for streaming, and a lot of Pixar movies have gone straight to streaming. And I feel like this would be one of those movies I feel like would do really well on a streaming service. But it also kind of bothers me that this movie is at least somewhat original, not in terms of like what happens in the movie and such, but at least it's not based off an IP or anything, and it's not doing that well. It's only made less than a tenth of what Lilo and Stitch has made, and I'm like, I hate this. I really don't like this. I just why people. So Elio, it's cute. It's fine. You can watch it at some point, but you don't need to rush out and see this movie. I thought the voice acting was really good. The animation is gorgeous. The themes are very interesting. The music's very well done, but I felt the comedy fell flat. I felt there were a ton of cliches and some story beats I would have tweaked a little bit, and also some alien characters which had no character basically. It's fine. It's cute, but you'll definitely see this pop up really well on something like Disney Plus. So I'll give Elio 2.5 out of 4 stars. Stream it. So, what is the most underrated Pixar movie in your opinion? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat. Stay safe.